Thank you, friends, for gathering. I was led to, in preparing for devotions this morning, I opened one of my Bibles, the Living Bible, and this paper was in there. It says Benny McVeigh's favorite scriptures. And I'm not going to read all of them that he has, but there are a few that spoke to me. These are from the Living Bible. Genesis 18:14. Is anything too hard for God? Joshua 1:9. Yes, be bold and strong. Banish fear and doubt. For remember the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Deuteronomy 4:9. But watch out. Be very careful never to forget what you have seen God doing for you. May his miracles have a deep and permanent effect on your lives. Tell your children and your grandchildren about the glorious miracles he did. Lamentations 3:23. Great is his faithfulness. His loving kindness begins afresh each day. 2 Corinthians 4:8. We are pressed on every side by troubles, but not crushed and broken. We are perplexed because we don't know why things happen as they do, but we don't give up and quit. Galatians 3:11. God has said that the only way we can be right in his sight is by faith. As the prophet Habakkuk says it, the man who finds life will find it through trusting God. Colossians 3:14. Most of all, let love guide your life. We thank you, Father, for being with us through the challenging times as well as the joyful times. We ask that you be with us as we gather together today for our monthly meeting of business. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. Any news of the meeting? Okay, I see none, and so Molly, assets.
Uh-oh. Sorry, I have lost my pen. It's somewhere. Anyways, hello. Okay, so lots of things, lots of updates. There's lots of things going on, always. So all asbestos flooring and tiles have been removed and treated in the affected areas where there was water damage from the busted radiators. We have chosen new tiles for the room 151, or for new ceiling tiles, and we decided to go with carpet squares in the basement. It'll make it a little bit warmer down there in that room, and also make it easier to repair if because they're squares, you can pull up one square and replace it if we ever need to do that. No, it's not. It's not an objection. It's an affirmation. So anyways, let's see, I lost my train of thought, sorry. Replacing carpet squares, yes. All of that restoration is still in process. We're in conversation with Sam, the contractor, and so it just takes a long time as far as getting things scheduled and making decisions and things. But it is in process and it is happening. And the radiators will be replaced in Charity's office. Parts have been ordered. They should arrive by the end of April. So it's happening. All of the restoration is happening. Let's see. The Vine House is officially under management of Christina in the office rather than John McKay's company. So that's been transferred over, and that they've had no issues with that. That's great. The scout door, I told you last month they had made repairs to it, but it was just like one big pane of glass, which is unsafe. And so they are going to be putting bars on the windows like there were before. And I think the parts have been ordered, but the work hasn't been done yet because we're waiting on the parts. And the scouts are continuing to use the east entrance, safety reasons. It's just dark and dingy down in that back door, and we have our Ring camera on the east door, and so anyways, it's just safer generally, but it can still be used as an exit, and they can still use it if they need to load things in and out. The new Knox box has been installed next to the elevator. The fire department has come out and locked it up, and Ken, the guy from the fire department, is gonna ask around about how we can get that extra one sold, since we have that extra one still. If not, maybe we'll sell it on eBay. We'll see what happens. Regarding windows, we're gonna have windows in rooms 253 and 353 repaired. The bid and everything has been signed and submitted. They came out Friday to work on the lower windows in 253, and they're gonna do the upper glass once Evergy gets the power lines covered. So they're in communication with Evergy to make sure that it's a safe job. We have some other windows that are broken here and there that we're making an effort to get repaired for insurance purposes, which I'll talk about in a bit. But there's like a stained glass window up in this room up here that's gonna be repaired. And there's a handful of other windows, one in 150, there's 3 in 151, there's several in the gym, handful of odd others here and there. Lewis Street Glass is gonna come out and repair those as well. Regarding our HVAC system, Doug Falsgraf, who is our attorney for this process, I mentioned last month that he had sent a letter and Cruz responded that they were preparing a response. They also have an attorney who has communicated with ours, and the gist of what he said is that Cruz wants to maintain our relationship. And so they want to restore our relationship regarding the issues that we've had. We haven't heard from them yet. That's all that we know. And so Doug sent another letter to Cruz saying, hey, we need you to get back to us because it's warming up. And so I guess their attorney has been out of town for the last week. So we're hoping to expect a response Monday or Tuesday about what the process is, what their response is, and so on, so that we can start moving forward and have a working AC by the time we need it. Insurance update. We have secured property and liability insurance for both the Vine House and the parsonage. And we have liability insurance for University Friends through USLI. I don't actually know what that stands for, but it is an insurance company. But we do not have property insurance for the church building. It's going to be next to impossible to get property insurance for the church building while we still have an open claim. And so we haven't stopped looking for insurance. It's like we're not giving up on finding property insurance, but nobody is going to take us while we still have an open claim. At least that's what we've continued to discover. So in the meantime, what we have decided is that with Church Mutual, we were paying about $1,900 a month for liability and property insurance for the church. Or maybe that was our package, I'm not sure. But anyways, we were paying $1,900 a month to Church Mutual. And so what we've decided is that in lieu of that, we are going to set aside about $2,000 a month. That's not going there into its separate line item to essentially self-insure. So that if something were to happen, we would have our little nest egg specifically for that purpose until the Church Mutual claim is closed and we can find new property insurance. And then that little chunk can also help to pay premiums for the new property insurance once we find it. But that way we have something and not nothing. But that, again, that's property insurance. We do have liability and we do have everything else covered. We have the houses covered and we have auto and we have workers' comp, all of that is covered already. So this is just like a little nest egg for our property insurance. And we spoke with, I don't know, somebody who we spoke with when we were trying to find property insurance mentioned that insurance companies don't like to see broken windows. And so they cover less when they see things like that. So we're in the process of making those repairs so that when we do find a company to come out and give us a quote for property insurance, they'll be more likely to do so because things like that are already taken care of. Some, excuse me, sorry, pastoral things. We've been talking about Charity's insurance. She has signed up through healthcare.gov, and with her package, we owe her $300 a month for insurance, and so she signed up in February, and so we're going to need to pay her $300 for that, and then continue paying her an additional $300 a month to help supplement her health insurance through healthcare.gov. And so we need to start doing that. So we owe her for last month and everything moving forward. And then we need to start contributing to her retirement. So we're in the process of following through with that so that we're gonna need to contribute those payments from when she started into her retirement fund each month. So we need to, anyways, we're following up about that to get that process going. The bells are gonna be serviced, cleaned and serviced, repaired, etc., which hasn't been done in a while, so that'll be happening, which is great. Christina is moving to a 4-day work week, Monday through Thursday in the office, because she has an opportunity she has another job where she teaches cooking classes, because she is a chef. I don't know if you knew that, but she's gonna be able to teach more classes, more cooking classes on Fridays. So she's gonna be at the church Monday through Thursday and doing that other job on Fridays. Regarding the University House, the contract for deed with the Meeks, they are current on payments and insurance. They made the deadline, they are current, so that's great. We are still in that 6-month window where if they are late on any payment moving forward within the next 6 months, we will send them that notice of termination of contract for deed, which we discussed last month and approved last month. But at this point, they're good and we're good. So the hope is to stay that way. way. 'Cause, 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 'c I think actually the last thing is our lease with Clavice David. Just kind of, we've talked about how we've had miscommunications, misunderstandings about what the contract is and what the expectations are, and we've had lots and lots of conversations about what that looks like. We have decided not to renew our lease with them, and we are going to be sending them that letter here in the next week or two, probably in this next week. Per our lease, we need to give them 90 days notice, which would be April 30th. And we would rather send that to them sooner than later so that they can start making plans. But we did decide that as an access committee, just based on our experience and based on how it's going, that it would be better not to renew. And also, as I mentioned last month, Mary Seat of Wisdom, the high school, is growing and hoping to expand, and we really want to build that relationship with them as well. So we need to have space in order to help make that happen, and help grow that relationship. So, questions, concerns, comments about all of that stuff?
Can you clarify, you said 90-day notice, and then you said April 30th.
Right, so their contract expires on July 30th. And so per the lease, a termination of contract has to come within 90 days. So April 30th would be the 90-day notice. But we're wanting to do it in advance of that, just so that deadlines aren't missed, and also just to be clear about our intentions for the remainder of the year in their contract.
The other question, if Christina's not going to be in the office on Friday, does that mean Charity's in there?
I'll be there sometimes. A lot of times Fridays I take.
I'm often out of the office on Fridays writing my sermon. So sometimes I'm here and sometimes I'm not. So Friday is drop by at your own risk and or make an appointment. So if you make an appointment with me on Friday, I will definitely be here. So.
Other questions, concerns, thoughts? Okay.
Thank you, Molly. Looks like I'm the one that had the questions. Sorry. I just like clarifications, and because the office is open till 2, is that right?
We may adjust office hours, so she's still working 30 hours a week.
Right.
So she'll still be here. So we may adjust office hours, and we will let you know for sure.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, Pam. Pam's giving the treasurer's report.
We'll go over the 2024 general budget receipts first. Our donations was up slightly from January. That's always good to see. And as Molly reported, Meeks are paid up, so that's at 1,940. That is just a real relief, and just feels good. Hopefully we can keep it that way. The rent and other income, that includes 38,281 from Church Mutual. So really that should not be in income. And it will be going right out to pay for the damage. And it's nice to kind of see that number there, you know, but it's not truly income. It's going to be in and out. So, but happy to have it. Facility expenses. and that's F40. Everything else is pretty much in line with what it was last month. Facility expenses continue to be fairly costly. $206 was for the men's stool downstairs with Boyer Plumbing. And then we spent about $75 on a door closer. And again, we paid Boyer Plumbing $1,200, and it was the water heater this time. $190 to Belford Electric for wiring, and P1, I guess it's P1 service, it was $680 for a boiler service. We paid $120 for to go green on pest control. And Service Master is the biggie. That was $10,587 to address the water damage. So, Doug?
Just to make that clear, though, that expense shouldn't really be there either, because that should be offset by that insurance thing you were talking about.
That will be part of, the insurance money that came in for the claim. So anyway, it's recorded as $13,000 in expenses. So that it pretty well covers the that month, February. And then as we look at the Treasury report of our endowments and our memorials, not a lot of change on that either. Probably next month, there'll be some quarterly updates and interest to show. We had 0 disbursements, and our total liquid assets is $929,359. So, and you can see what our checking account is. And there was no need to transfer any money, to pay bills this month. So I think that maybe Molly had explained this. We have Wichita Friends School repayment tracking, and somewhere, at least in my mind or, our mind, we thought that we would start seeing repayment of the loan the 1st of January. And when Christina contacted Wichita Friends School, they were adamant that that would start in April. So I'm really hopeful that we will see that the next month. So actually probably another month before we actually see it, since it'll be March that we'll be talking about next month. So any questions or additions that anyone has? So, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Dawn from Ministry and Council.
I feel like Molly gave part of my report for me, so thanks. We always do kind of a brief check-in at the beginning just to see how everybody's doing and what's going on in our lives. And we started with that, and Charity shared her pastor's report. And then we did discuss Charity's health insurance and the maintenance of the bells, and kind of pass that on to assets. We had a nominating committee report, which we will hear, because we didn't really hear any details. She just said that they did meet after church, and they have some thoughts about who could possibly fill some of the positions that we have open on our committees right now. We discussed the membership class, and it was well attended. And the second session was made up last week, I believe, when I wasn't here. And the audio recording of those sessions have been posted as well. We discussed our Easter plans for breakfast, and we pretty much filled all of those slots, just a few left to fill. And that'll be at 8:30 next week. And that's about it. It was a good meeting. We got a lot accomplished. And the end. Any questions? Feels weird to have a short report after the last two. You guys have a lot on your plates for sure.
Thank you, Don. Okay, Charity for nominating.
Nominating met briefly after worship on February, whatever the last Sunday of February was. I didn't write down the date. And we still are in process of prayerfully considering who might step in to fill some positions on committees. And so we just invite you to continue to pray with us. We will be bringing those recommendations when we feel like we're at a solid place. So we do have ideas. We are working on it. We're praying about it, but we're not ready at this point to ask for to present names or ask for approvals. So there's my very, very brief committee report. I beat Dawn. Oh, and yeah, for membership class, we had 6 people participate in membership class who are not members, and that was great. And just a special thank you to Sue and to Beth for being great hostesses, and to Ted for sitting through both of those meetings.
Thank you, Charity. Sue for visitation.
A visitation met this past week on March 21st. Present were Beth McDonald, Judy Blue, Charity Sandstrom, and Sue Wine. The visitation team has different ways of, or really different levels of trying to connect with people who we don't see every week. And that might be a phone call, it might be a visit. And this week we also sent Easter cards to 22 of members or families. And that's always a nice occasion for us to get together and pick out a card and send and decide that this is for so-and-so. And so we are making a mental visit with them and connecting with them by the U.S. mail.
And can I add that I got a phone call from Dave Kingery yesterday thanking me for the committee, because he says, well, your name was on there. So he very much appreciates the contact, so.
Yes, it's nice to hear back from people. So some of the visits this past month, I think we stay in pretty good contact with the Bengi family. This month, Bila had an automobile accident, but she was not injured, fortunately. And it's also coming up on the anniversary of David's death. So this might be a difficult time for them if you want to include them in your prayers. I think there were phone conversations or visits. Helen Benford, we haven't seen for a long time, but she gets a card. And she is online this morning. Good. Yes, I think she is most weeks. Would I like to see her? Oh, and Beth took the visitation one step farther. She not only went to see Brittany and Diane, but took Brittany to the recycling center where she spent the day working hard.
Afternoon, during her spring break week. I would try to do this just to help give her something a little more positive to do, and she declined the Tuesday invitation, but she accepted the Thursday invitation, and she did remarkably well.
So if you think of other people that we might not have mentioned, they may be on our Easter card list, Valentine list, whatever. I don't know if we've got another one coming for a while. Might have to send out Memorial Day, Mother's Day, I don't know. But it is nice to keep in touch, and this has been a tradition of sending cards out. While looking for a few more cards, I think Beth uncovered a stack of cards that included some hand-drawn Easter cards.
From Jennifer Exline. Oh. Jennifer Exline used to do our Christmas cards, and so I had 2 of them, and so yeah.
Yeah, nice to see those. We had some consideration of a midweek meeting where people who are available in the middle of the week and often can use a little bit more outside opportunity if they're sort of at home all the time and really would appreciate getting out more, to have a midweek opening, which is undefined as far as time, date, and what activities there might be, but there is that thought there that we might be able to do something that way.
We're thinking maybe just social, or do we want to pick a book? Or are we game people, playing, some games? So just trying to keep it open, so if any of that, or maybe even puzzle making.
You think we can pull somebody in on that? I think so. And maybe with a meal or not, we'll need to be working on that. But this, I would invite you to give us feedback on if you have thoughts about how we might develop this opportunity. I think that is all, and so thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Okay, I know we were late getting these out to you, so I will give you a couple moments to look over the minutes from last month to see if there's any additions or corrections.
Already making a note that just for consistency, I need to bold assets committee at the top.
Were the other ones bolded?
Yeah.
Oh, they were, yeah, okay. So, bolding assets committee. Sorry, Molly?
At the second sentence in the assets committee, the meeting approved the spending of $24,000 needed to cover the cost of service master. We didn't actually, I don't think we actually approved the spending of that money. We received that insurance money. So that wasn't money coming out of our budget. So I think we need to rewrite that sentence to say something like, we received $24,000 of insurance money to cover the cost.
Okay.
And then additionally, at the bottom of the page, adding Mary next to Mary's seat of wisdom. It just says seat of wisdom.
Is there a comma after Mary, or is it just?
No, it's just Mary's seat of wisdom.
Okay.
I missed that.
There's a line at the bottom.
Yeah, I see it now. I proved these, I missed that. Well, there was some discussion about more money than the 24,000. I got an email about that, and I was we're not changing it because that's what was originally stated. So if it was more than that, then we would,
But I would assume if we change that sentence, then because we're just receiving 24,000.
Well, and I think we've been receiving checks at I think we received multiple checks for different, right? So
There's another check that came through. So the first one was 24,000 and something. The next one was 13,000 and something to cover the cost of the radiator. So it's however we want to put it
yeah.
to reflect that this was insurance money that came in and more is to come.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
Was that 13,000 received though after this meeting? Should it be?
I don't know. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. As long as this is clear that this was an
Received
insurance check.
from I mean, I could just say received monies.
yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
from insurance.
Indemnification, that's what it is. It's a replacement of the cost with that.
Damage.
It's not income.
Any other corrections or things as far as the minutes?
I know for certain that they did. Here,
Just wanted to follow up.
Okay, friends. Are we okay approving the minutes with those clarifications? Thank you. All right. I don't find any births or deaths or thank you notes in the folder. Yeah. Financial receipts or acknowledgements. So does friends have anything else that they, yes?
This should have been news of the meeting, but Nellie Peters' 98th birthday was this last week.
That would be one thing, yeah, that we need to, I would really like the monthly sheet where the birthdays are listed to come out before the first of the month, because what happens if your birthday is, the 3rd or the 4th and you don't get it till after that? Not the case for Nellie, but so if there could be a way to get that sent out beforehand. Visitation committee, yes, that's one of the things that I,
is that list, we have a list of that somewhere, Beth?
yeah, we get, yeah. So along with anniversaries of so many years. So I like that information, but we need to have it beforehand. Any other thoughts, concerns? Yes.
I knew there was something else. I'm just wondering, has there been any, because I've been gone, I've not been paying attention. Here's my disclaimer. Great Clay Julie meeting is being hosted. Wait a minute, it's at Heartland this year, isn't it? Never mind.
I was gonna say,
We did it last.
yeah, I was gonna say, we did it last year.
Well, I was just freaking out. Thinking
No,
we
that's
needed to get our
fine. It's okay.
We'll go to Heartland. And they may need help. And
Oh.
that's the other thing is,
And you might, when's the dates?
it's the, it's like the end of May, into the 1st of June. May 31st, June 1st, and, well, May 30th, 31st, and May, June 1st. Sorry.
The 30th, May 30th through June 1st.
It's the weekend after Memorial Weekend.
Okay. Anything else? Let's take a moment for prayer, please. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for always being with us, even when we sometimes neglect to acknowledge you. It's wonderful to know that you're caring for us. As we go about this coming week, preparing for Easter Sunday, please be extra with your love and care for us as we in turn reach out to you. We ask these things in thy name. Amen.